only once, of which an estimated 23 million tons end up in lakes, rivers, and seas. Today, plastic cloaks are landfills and water bodies and is combusted in terms of beat plastic pollution. We are happy to do our bit in contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals through this hackathon, specifically to SDG 14, Life Below Water, which is about conserving and sustainably using the ocean, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. The hackathon is on detecting plastic in water bodies with artificial intelligence and drone technologies and assisting in their early removal. The participants of the hackathon would have to detect, classify, and segment the plastics and propose a viably architecturally sound solution to curtail the plastic menace choking our water bodies. We look forward to innovative solutions with actionable insights where the stakeholders like government and local support groups can take proactive measures. The agenda for this 1 hour event is here. Leaders from REVA University and Kyndryl, along with Plastic Fischer, would address the need and the know-how of the hackathon, all with a single aim of creating a sustainable future for our planet. To launch this prestigious hackathon, we have our most benevolent founder chancellor and MD of the Vistry Builders, Dr. P. Shamaraju, with us. Sir, may I request to come on video mode and speak up and announce the launch?
Good evening to everyone. I am really delighted to see so many people here, and particularly to plan to have this hackathon on plastic. This is what I was expecting from several years, I can say. At REVA University, we have dedicated the year 2023 towards contributing to various sustainable development goals set by the United Nations. We believe higher education institutions like ours have a significant role in educating the community on the effective achievement of the SDGs. The hackathon aligning towards SDG 14, Life Underwater, is an excellent initiative to bring awareness amongst with the artificial intelligence community and the public about the plastic menace in water bodies. Glad to know that esteemed organizations like Kyndryl are sponsoring and supporting this noble hackathon. I look forward to state-of-the-art technology solutions from artificial intelligence experts to reduce the plastic menace on our water bodies and help all living creatures underwater. Glad to declare that the hackathon is now open to all for participation. Wishing all the very best from our side. I am really proud about my team, and thanks to Kyndryl for sponsoring and supporting. Thank you very much. Over to
Thank you so much, sir. You have been always a great inspiration for all of us, and especially for spearheading a series of innovations around sustainable development goals in the university and supporting all our efforts always. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
To move on, we have one of the pillar of support in initiating this hackathon, Naveen Kamat, Vice President and Chief Technology Officer, Data and AI Service at Kyndryl, who has been a mentor throughout this journey while designing and planning this whole hackathon. He's a seasoned executive, engineering leader, mentor, and coach, actively involved in driving breakthrough innovations, fostering industry academia partnerships, and is an advisory role for many startups. Sir, can I request you to address all of us on leading the transformation to a purpose economy? Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Shenu. And let me first share my slides here. Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
All right, great. All right. So first of all, a warm welcome to all the participants and everyone on this call. I'd like to start by thanking Dr. Shamraju, Chancellor of the REVA University, for all the support and nurturing this academia corporate partnership between REVA and Kyndryl. We've been working for quite some time now with Dr. Shenu and the RACE team. And it's always a privilege to work with the team because there's so much passion, so much energy, and always a delight to work with the REVA team. And likewise with this organization of this hackathon. So let me start by setting a broader context here. So if you think about it, there's evolution happening to what we'd like to call the purpose economy, right? And essentially, if you think about it, whether it's consumers that are looking at products, purchasing products and services, they're looking at eco-friendly products, eco-friendly services, whether it is the new generation of the workforce. They're looking at whether the organizations that they're working for are having a sustainability agenda, a cause for a broader purpose, a broader good tech kind of an agenda that they are committed to. Likewise, a lot of organizations today, whether it is in the context of capital flows, whether it's in terms of investments that they need to attract, they need to have sustainability scores that they can sort of demonstrate, so they can get the investments that they need. So it's really going beyond just regulations or going beyond compliance requirements to be able to have a sustainability agenda as one of the top priorities. And the surveys that was done, I think it says sustainability is now amongst the top 10 priorities for CEOs. So that is what we are seeing as part of the purpose economy. That is how I think a lot of the evolution there is happening. And from a Kyndryl perspective, we are, first of all, I think looking at how we can improve our own carbon footprint and energy spend within our own data centers. So this has been work that's been happening around, I would say, for the last 10 years or so now, where we're looking at even applying artificial intelligence to the the problem of solving or problem of improving energy consumption in the data centers, looking at various sensors, temperature, humidity sensors, looking at all the data that's coming in from the chillers, cracks, hot aisle, cold aisle, all of those various parameters that can improve the power efficiencies, right? And this has been a significant amount of energy conservation that we've been able to drive through that exercise. As you can see, almost 35,000 megawatt hours that we've been able to reduce in terms of energy use. And this is a service also that we offer to our customers that have their own data centers in terms of how we can help them with their own data center greening strategy. We also engage with customers across areas like, for example, this manufacturing client was looking at bringing in a lot of their IoT data into a data fabric to essentially take all this from their OT systems, data from the OT systems, telemetry data, bring in various data from the various IoT devices, and look at how can they reduce their carbon footprint, look at operational equipment efficiency, look at even extending the remaining useful life of their equipment from a predictive maintenance standpoint and some of that, right? Reducing maintenance expenses. So this was again a engagement that we had with this customer where we set in a complete data fabric, a complete data foundation that could make all of these outcomes possible. Another example amongst several others that we also have is this example where we had this premium bottling company in the US, where we are basically looking at how do we apply Vision AI to their screen printing on the bottles, right? The label printing on the bottles, precision printing, because essentially the whole process was manual, and that was leading to a lot of wastage and also a larger carbon footprint due to the existing production processes. So we already sort of looked at the application of Vision AI in this whole context of sustainability. Various such examples, including areas like worker safety, for example, right, where you can apply AI to look at exposure of employees within an organization, particularly things like chemical plants or oil and gas, where there are hazardous zones, and you can apply AI to detect if employees are being exposed more than they should be in those zones, which basically then means you can trigger alerts to the plant manager or to the floor manager, which can basically help drive the necessary interventions. So we've been leveraging AI essentially in this various contexts, and now with the advent of generative AI, the announcements that have happened over the last year or so, there's a lot of buzz around how generative AI can also play a role in driving a sustainability agenda and so forth, right? Now, from a Kyndryl standpoint, as I was mentioning, part of our focus has been how do we engage within Kyndryl. Kyndryl has an aim to achieve net zero by 2040. And there are various initiatives in play to drive to that goal. I'm sure Avintha, who's on this call, also will probably expand on that a bit. Now, coming to the hackathon itself, how did we get about getting this hackathon together? So essentially, the initial discussion started with Plastic Fischer. My good friend and partner here, Harish Shenoy, is on the call. Plastic Fischer has been, doing some phenomenal work around the space of reducing plastic pollution in rivers on the field, on the ground. And some of the discussions that we got together around this was the possibility of applying AI to this problem, right? How do we apply AI at looking at the various images and then looking at how do we sort of pick the spots where we can get maximum outcomes? That was the whole idea. And together with Plastic Fischer and REVA, of course, is a great partner, we said, let's look at bringing this together, have a hackathon where we can basically drive thought leadership, bring the best of minds together for this greater purpose, and have drive this as an inclusive ecosystem, right? And I think that's how we have gotten here, and I'm quite excited about this hackathon. The idea with the hackathon, obviously, is to look at applying Vision AI for plastic waste detection, being able to build deployable prototypes that we can incubate, and then sort of look at how do we apply this across various communities, look at even maybe reusing this in adjacent use cases, right? And eventually, of course, be able to take this in the field and deploy this solutions that come out of this hackathon with local agencies and with the ecosystem that we have here. So with that, I think really excited, really looking forward to the outcomes from this hackathon, and I really believe we'll have some great participation. And for the participants on this hackathon, I hope this will be a fun exercise. I hope there'll be a lot of learning and also some great outcomes from this hackathon. So wishing all of the participants the very best. I'll hand it back to Shinu here.
Thank you so much, Naveen. Just shifting my screen. It's great to see leaders like you shifting your focus from profit to planet and leading such innovative initiatives to bring thought leadership together. And the team, the passion that the team is showing towards this particular problem statement and building the sustainability theme agenda has been truly phenomenal. Thank you so much for all the support. So to move on, we would want to bring in our own Dr. J.B. Sima, who has been a pillar of strength for us in driving a lot of AI initiatives. Now, the question that most of you who are planning to get onto this hackathon is, how exactly is AI going to help solving this plastic detection problem? Is that enough? Or are there various other solutions? And specifically looking at a scalable model with AI, can we find answers? So Dr. J.B. Sima, the floor is yours, please. Thank you. Dr. Sima? Dr. Sima, you have to unmute.
Sorry, my apologies. My apologies. Thank you, Naveen and team from Kyndryl. Thank you, Dr. Shamraju and Dr. Shenoy for hosting this. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, in fact, always I was wondered, is technology a good solution or is technology a kind of nemesis? I had taken the second position rather than taking the first position because I always felt people, when they didn't have technology, they didn't have too much of diabetes, didn't have too much of blood pressure, didn't have too much of pollution and things like that. When technology is improving, actually it should be reducing all these problems, but currently it is adding to the problem rather than avoiding the problem. So what is the solution? In fact, worst of this is plastic detection. Actually, plastic detection is a solution, but plastic is the problem. What exactly is
Dr.
the
Sima,
problem?
can you share your screen?
Am I not okay? Oh, sorry. 1 minute, sir. I'm sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, the question is, if plastic is the problem, how big is the problem? So now if you look at it, when we look at the plastic problem, the problem is huge. It's not simple. And if you look at it, though the solution says that plastic can be recycled, only about 9% is recycled. Rest of the 91%, either it is incinerated, causing the CO2 problem, greenhouse problem and things like that, assuming that it will generate some energy. The other side, 79% is landfilled or will reach the ocean. Actually, problem is not in the rivers. Rivers is a solution. It is possible that before it reaches ocean, if we can detect and arrest it, it is much easier for us to protect the ecosystem at the ocean. The real problem is here. So if we look at 70% of debris which are getting into the ocean ecosystem, only about 15% floats. Only about 15% reaches the land. Rest of the 70% will go underground. The undersea plastic which gets converted into microplastic is the real big problem, because the microplastic, if it takes about 400 years to 1000 years to degrade, the biggest problem is, can we give this gift to our next generation? Can we enjoy everything? Because we inherited this particular gift from our ancestors. They gave it pure and we make it polluted and we are extending it. Don't we have the social responsibility? Is the responsibility of the society, government, corporations and things like that? Is it not individual? For me, it is always individual, because I always go against the teams and the organized things. I say that individual is responsible. What is my contribution in reducing plastic? So if we want to do that, who are responsible? Can we arrest it at the source during the travel from the source to the destination, that's the ocean, and at the ocean? We are not talking about the ocean. We would like to look at the social problem of the source and the technological problem of at the medium in which it is getting transferred. So if you look at it, these are the worst polluters. This is not me who is telling that. This is the statistic that is available with Forbes, which says that these are the people who are doing it. So it requires a kind of social momentum, a government policy to change these people to go for no plastic. That is not possible from our technology side. What is possible? In fact, India is nowhere near, but India is reaching that level. This was from 2010, but if we move to the next level, certainly Indians are using more plastic than anybody else. We had to get into that. Can we say, I don't use plastic? I don't want to use plastic. I'm using steel. So we would like to go for no plastic. That's the oath that we had to take today. At least the participants who are here, we had to tell we don't use plastic, period. That's our contribution to reduction of plastic. Next is, if we are looking at zero waste hierarchy, what can be done? Some of the things will be from people. Some of the thing can be done with technology. But if you look at the technology, the value is much lower. Not that it's a waste, but actually if you look at it, most preferred one is educating the people, educating the governments, educating the corporates that don't use plastic, don't use plastic, or go for reuse if you cannot reduce it. Those are the preferred solutions, but we are not in a position to do that because we are not in power. So what we can do, we can use technology to solve this problem to some extent. What are the things that we can do? We can use recycle and compost it. We can go for recovery of energy. We can go for landfill, create a road, better road with that. So these are some of the solutions. In fact, if you look at it, the technology-based solutions is what is possible from our side. Now, if we take this, we would like to take it to the next solution. Is technology means mechanical, electrical, chemical, blah, blah, blah. No, we are interested in, can AI support from any possible dimension? Can we use that? Yes, yes, that is possible. Either we can use the robotics-based AI, or we can use, we can go for the process-based or the computer vision-based AI. It is possible for us to participate, take the responsibility, make sure that we own that. We are looking at that. Can we go with this problem? We are not going to this problem now immediately, but certainly down the line, this is one of the interests we have. Now we are looking at, can we take this problem, elaborate it? Who are the people who are working in this area? What is being done? Now, if you look at that, AI has been used widely in multiple areas. Actually, when we were doing this exercise along with Kyndryl, one of the problem we had was AI cannot label on its own, cannot do things. Though some 10 years back, we read the paper, the deep learning can differentiate cat and dog without explicitly mentioning, labeling, this is cat and dog. But now the problem is, can the AI label itself that this is plastic, this is waste, this is water, this is unwanted material? Can it do? What kind of technology is getting used? In fact, the current technology that's available is active learning. So active learning, maybe through reinforcement learning, maybe through deep learning. One of the area that is currently being applied, currently available as code, as kind of data and all those things is active learning. Learn something, train the model, and some of them are not done correctly. New data is added. Get that. Once that is labeled, is there a possibility I can label it directly? Can I do the data annotation? The participants who are coming to this particular hackathon may be doing it manually, but we are interested. When you do this with automated or semi-automated or semi-supervised learning method of data annotation, good, you are there. You are with us. You are really using technologies to solve this problem. The second area where we are looking at is, now we are going for a kind of the images that have been captured by a unmanned aerial vehicle. But there are other methods of collecting the data. It can be static cameras kept at the banks of the river throughout its path. And that is more reliable because there's a possibility whenever there is, kind of mismatch of the synchronization of speed and other things, or effect of light and other things, the unmanned aerial vehicle camera, UAV, may not have, the drone may not have good image. The static camera will be there. The satellite image will be there. Manually, people will be taking it. In fact, crowdsourcing is one of the best methods for getting this data. They can shoot a picture in Apple 14 camera, upload it, and that should be available for our AI to detect something and do the annotation and learn everything clearly. Can I fuse from multiple sources, multiple channels, the data, and still do this? This is already getting done. This is the latest work. Now, if you look at the next one, there is, yes, I can detect the plastic, but what is the use? Harish is looking at, yes, I'm interested in where exactly this is happening more. I would like to use 80-20 law. I do not want to pick every plastic that is possible or that is thrown into the river, which is ideal. But is there a possibility? If I can touch only 20% of the places, I can collect 80% of the plastic. That is economical and that is doable. For that, we may have to go for counting. So one problem is getting the data through the plastic image analysis. Plastic is there. What do you do with the plastic? I cannot do anything with the plastic because this image contains plastic. This image do not contain plastic is not helpful for us. What is helpful for us is counting visually how much of plastic is there, how many plastic elements are there within a given space. Once that can be done, it becomes much easier for us to see where exactly I must focus my energy, my technologies to remove that before it reaches ocean. And all of this is available. Now, this particular one has been done for the static images. Now, the problem that we are exposing is dynamic images in the sense that it has been collected by a drone and it is over a path. And we would like to see, is there a possibility to predict or to classify or to detect the plastic, count it and attach the exact location. So this is how we are trying to do some human service back to the society, taking the responsibility of how we can use AI in cleaning up the planet. With this, I would like to close this discussion. Thank you. Over to you, Shenoy.
Thank you so much, Prof. It's always has been a pleasure to listening to you and your ideas, and we strongly believe that the hackathon is designed as per the plan of action that we have put and you have discussed. So it involves these steps, and we are looking at very, very novel and scalable and cost-effective solutions from each of the participants. Thank you for being our force of guidance always. Thank you. Okay, now here comes a person and a team who actually does amazing things on the ground. Plastic Fischer has been a forerunner in cleaning oceans, rivers and oceans. And we have the director of Plastic Fischer, Harish Shenoy, with us today. And he joins us from the campus. And may I request Harish to showcase the brilliant work you and your team are doing, and we hope that we will ally with you to help you in your great initiatives that you are taking. Thank you.
Hi. I'm Harish Shenoy, the director of Plastic Fischer India, and thank you, Dr. Shenoy, for the introduction about Plastic Fischer. So let me share my screen and take you through our journey about what Plastic Fischer does and why it is important for all of us over here to concentrate on the work that we're doing. I hope that everybody is able to see my screen. All right, thank you. So this photo that you see is actually from Mangalore. It's not too far away from where we are right now. It's only about 350 kilometers to the west. And this is a photo that I took a few months back of the coast there in Mangalore. So what's happening is that the rivers are leaking plastics into the ocean, into the Arabian Sea, and the Arabian Sea is depositing some amount of plastics back on the land. So if you think about it, this is only a fraction of the plastics that is leaking into the Arabian Sea every year. So if you think about how much the quantum of plastic that is going into the oceans every year, it's quite a big amount. And with that idea, we started Plastic Fischer to have clean rivers to save oceans. So the founders of Plastic Fischer were able to see something similar while they were traveling in Vietnam and saw the vast amount of plastics going into the Mekong Delta there. And they founded the company Plastic Fischer with an idea of cleaning rivers to save oceans. We identify ourselves as a real initiative, which means locally built technology, which is low tech and ultimately low cost. So, what do I mean by that? It means here is an example of the technology. Yeah, am I audible now? Okay. All right. Yeah, so let me just wind back a little. Yeah, so Plastic Fischer was founded with the same principles. When the founders were traveling to Vietnam, they saw the plastic pollution menace in the Mekong Delta, which was leaking plastics into the oceans. So they founded the company with the idea of cleaning rivers and stopping the plastics in the rivers so that we can save the oceans. Plastic Fischer identifies itself as the real initiative, which means locally built technologies, which is low tech and low cost. So what do I mean by that? Here is an example of our trash boom, which is a very simple structure that floats on top of water to arrest a large amount of floating plastic and stopping it from going downstream. So you can see that it is a very simple device, which is made of locally available materials. It is made of steel pipes and PVC pipes, which are available anywhere in the world, so that the technology is scalable, so that you can build it anywhere. It is made with locally available parts. It's modular in nature, so that you can put a lot of elements together and form a system. So it is low cost. There aren't any moving parts over here, so that avoids maintenance cost and repairs or even downtime. And ultimately, both of these two combine to make it extremely low cost. So this is one of the examples of our trash booms. Actually, one of the first trash booms that we installed in Indonesia in 2019, which is working till date with very little maintenance. And the low cost, the low tech, and the local approach doesn't just doesn't just affect the technology, but also the operations. So we have a very hyper local team with a project manager or project associate handling each site with a local staff and having local approach to problems so that they are more efficient. And when I talk about Plastic Fischer, we are not just a technology provider. We are actually a end-to-end waste management service for river plastic. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So what I'm saying is Plastic Fischer is an end-to-end service provider for river plastic management. And what that is we manufacture our own technology, we deploy the technology, and we have our own full-time staff that collect it on a daily basis of whatever plastics are accumulated, as you can see in the photo there. Once it's collected, the material is brought back to land. It is sorted through with different kinds of plastic going to different streams, and then it is dried. And again, here you can see the very low tech approach to it. We use the sun to dry most of the plastics that we collect because the plastics are filled with moisture from the river. And then we compress it and send it further for processing. So the recyclable materials are introduced back into the supply chain, but unfortunately, we see a trend that only 10% of the material that we collect is recyclable. The rest of it is not recyclable, and maybe that is also why it is ending up in the environment because it doesn't find value to waste recyclers to put it back into the supply chain. In the context of India, as Dr. Samad mentioned in one of his slides, landfilling is not an option. Landfilling is highly unscientific in India, and it will do more harm than just letting it out in the environment. So what we do is we prefer to send it for co-processing. Co-processing is a method where you incinerate the plastics at very high temperature in a very controlled environment so that it doesn't release any harmful gases. And using co-processing, we are able to recover energy from the plastics that we collect. And earlier I said that we are low-tech, but low-tech is only limited to the on-ground operations so that it allows us to scale to very inaccessible parts of India and the rest of the world. But the backend, we embrace the technology, just like any other startup. So all our processes, right from the starting, where we collect the plastic until it is recycled, is tracked to our tracking platform. And every kg of plastics that we collect is accounted for, and we can ensure that it ends up and the transparency is the key over there. In addition to the environmental impact, we also create social impact. What we do is we employ people from the informal sector and provide them with full-time jobs and benefits. We generate awareness in the communities wherever we work so that plastic pollution wouldn't be a problem in the future as well. We have done this work in Varanasi. This is a tributary to the river Ganga, where we have installed the trash rooms, one of the several trash rooms that are installed there. We have done this in Kanpur, we have done this in Mangalore, and we have done this in Trivandrum. This is the list of sites that we have gone to, and some of the list also contains sites that we want to go to in the future. And this is a very difficult task. Let me tell you why. Going to a new place is not simple. It involves a lot of background work and a lot of research about the kind of city visitors. We have to see what are the rivers that passes either through the city or near the city. Then we have to find tributaries of that river. Then from the tributaries, we need to find drains that lead into the river. And from the drains, we need to find plastic hotspots. And from after finding plastic hotspots, we also need to find which is the most efficient way we can collect these plastics by installing a trash room technology. But for all of this, the process is very cumbersome, very labor intensive. It's a process that takes months for us to set up. So the idea is to embrace technology here again. Here is a photo of one of the drains in Varanasi, which is leading directly into the river Ganga. And you can see that it has visible traces of plastic here and there with floating debris. The idea is to use AI models to identify drains, to identify plastic hotspots, to identify residential areas. This is a highly residential area. To identify access roads and to find the best way to efficiently deploy our trash rooms. Alternatively, we can also use images like this, which can be crowdsourced, and we can find plastics associated with the river and water. This is an image that I took from Street View, and I hope that we will be able to also crowdsource this data. I am going to leave you with a beautiful picture of the river Ganga that we took. We have been working in Varanasi since January of 2021, ever since we started operations in India. And I'm very happy to announce that we have stopped over 200,000 kgs of plastic from entering the Ganga through Varanasi. So I'm going to ask all of you for your support to help us collect even more in the coming years from all over the world and not just Varanasi and Ganga. Thank you.
I think that requires a sounding ovation from all of us. While we keep going around with our usual pollution, thank God that we have people like Harish going and cleaning up the mess that we have created. Thank you so much. And I do hope some of our audience would connect with you and see how we can contribute with AI, without AI, right? Thank you so much. Let me move on to Avintha Moodaly, who is representing Kyndryl and especially the sustainability team. I'm so glad to see that there is a group of leaders working on sustainability agenda at Kyndryl, and Avintha and a series senior leaders are also part of this hackathon. So over to you, Avintha. Very keen to look at what are the initiatives that you have and you and your team are doing to bring sustainability. Thank you.
Hi there. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you for inviting me.
Okay, we can see you. Yes.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we look at environmental sustainability at Kyndryl. What does it mean for us? And what is our strategy when it comes to environmental strategy? So maybe the first thing I wanted to share with you is really a call to action. And this diagram was taken from an IPCC report, which is a UN body for assessing risks to climate change. And what this really said was that as a planet and humanity, we really have to make some serious changes if we want to avoid exceeding planetary boundaries on climate change. So you'll see on the right-hand side that there are a number of risks that come with temperature increases that become a lot more severe as we move from 1.5 degrees to up to 4 degrees, which result in the risk of species loss, a risk to health, a risk to food impact that we can generate on this planet. And up to today, we've reached a point of 1.1 degrees. And without serious and radical action, we are likely to breach 1.5 degrees in the next 7 to 10 years. And so that means that we have to take immediate action, but increasingly we have to look at how do we mitigate and reduce emissions and focus on how do we adapt and become more resilient in a world that is hotter. And so for Kyndryl, the climate change was the most important aspect because as a IT services company, we consume a lot of electricity, which then we can contribute to this issue. But we also have a responsibility to mitigate and reduce this. And so when we spun off and became an independent publicly traded company in November 2021, we saw an opportunity, in addition to defining what kind of company we are, that we build a new brand, identity, and values. And ESG and sustainability has been a core part of that from the very beginning. So as we formed this company, we ensured that we put together a culture that would create positive impact at scale. And we want to focus immediately on the emissions and greenhouse gas emissions, but increasingly then on water usage, and waste reduction. And we have a vision to be an empathy-based culture. We care for our people, planet, and the natural resources. And we want to make this a resilient, sustainable world for today, the people of today, and for our future generations. And so our commitment to environmental sustainability is a fundamental aspect of how we are strengthening the future viability of our business operations. We see environmental sustainability from a risk and an opportunity frame of view. And from a risk point of view, we want to make sure that we're managing our compliance, we are reporting on regulatory frameworks, we are making sure that climate effects on our businesses are managed, for example, flooding, availability of water. But on the opportunity side, there's a market, like Naveen was talking about, for solutions to help companies, planet, the people, communities bridge this gap, manage this risk, improve on our environmental positions. And so how do we as an IT services company put out products and services that can help towards this journey? And so we have a strategy within Kyndryl. It's based on 4 building blocks. The first 2 are really focused inwardly, and how do we manage our own operations? Are we responsible? Are we reducing our emissions? What do we do around reporting? What systems do we put in place? And Naveen mentioned we have a 2040 net zero goal. That's one part of it. We have by 2030, we want to be 50% down on our emissions. And as a newly formed company, that is a tremendous ask, but we're up to the challenge and we're putting the plans in place to get to that goals. The third pillar is really around how do we partner with our technology providers, how do we partner with our employees, and how do we partner with our customers. We have 80 to 90,000 employees, and we see that they can be huge ambassadors for us. Firstly, in the way they execute their work for clients, that we're doing this in a sustainable manner. We're using the best practices. We're using the most efficient equipment. We travel less. And the second part of that is, and how do we educate our employees such that they are able to take that change in their personal lives and in their communities. So spread that education and best practices beyond just the Kyndryl boundary. And the fourth pillar is then what I was talking about putting out there solutions and services that can help our clients. We have more than 4,000 clients, some of the biggest companies in the world, who also have environmental ambitions and goals. Some of those we were able to help move along on this pathway. And your initiatives today is part of that strategic pillar number 4, where we want to identify what solutions we will be able to put out there to help our clients reduce their impacts. So for that, I want to thank you for being part of our strategy. I'm very motivated by what I see from all the speakers and from the participation. And I wish you the best of luck. I hope you have fun in developing your solutions. And I'm looking forward to seeing the outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Avintha. That seems very ambitious and inspiring and a very comprehensive plan of action. And we wish Kyndryl team to lead the change and be successful in whatever that you set out to be. So we have come actually to the last part of the presentation now. Let me quickly share the screen, and we are going to quickly take you all through how to participate in this hackathon. Just checking whether the screen is visible.
Screen is visible. You can put it in slideshow mode.
Okay, I'm somehow not able to change. Okay. So as we mentioned, this hackathon is towards aligned to SDG 14, Life Below Water. Specifically, one of the indicator of SDG 14.1.1b is to reduce plastic debris density in ocean. And we are so glad to bring this hackathon together to contribute to this enormous goal. There are 3 phases in this hackathon. The first phase starts today, which is the initial model building. About a month and a few days time would be given to the hackers and the participants to solve the challenge, followed by phase 2, where we evaluate the phase 1 submission, and the best 50 prototypes or the best 50 modelers would be asked to develop a prototype, a working model, and submit again. The top 50 evaluation would be done by our mentors and judges, followed by selecting the top 10 winners for phase 3. They would get individual mentorship from the data science team at Kyndryl as well as REVA University to develop a full-fledged working solution. Phase 4 would end up with a grand finale, which is going to be on August 26th. So we have about 2.5 months time to complete this hackathon. There are three phases, as I mentioned, and there are three challenges. The first part is initial model building, that a set of data has been given. You would have to start with labeling. Dr. Simha mentioned that automated labeling annotation would be a great innovation that we would want to see, followed by develop an AI solution which can detect as well as count, visual counting, as Dr. Simha again mentioned, that we are looking for an innovative AI-based solution which can detect and count the plastic in the images. The images also have metadata, which is on the latitude and longitude of the images. So you also need to geotag and map the images and submit the results. There are certain formats that you have to follow. So please look at all the instructions. Once you complete the phase 1 submission, our team would go through various criteria has been put. It's available in the website that the top 50 have to demonstrate a feasible solution with a complete end-to-end system architecture and implementation solution, which includes a system to trigger the local authorities or the responsible teams to bring in solutions for plastic detection. So this is the main two parts of the hackathon, but it would also open up to an open innovation challenge. Since we have the metadata available, we would also request you to build a spatio-temporal model, keeping the data which is available to know which is moving and stationary plastic. And you may also look at other debris on the images, which includes weeds and everything else on the images. You may also develop efficient solutions. So if you connect with maybe Plastic Fischer, you already have a different set of solutions that you can look at. So all these things are welcome in the Open Innovation Challenge. I'm going to quickly take you through this website, that the hackathon website is there with explaining all the details very meticulously. There are a set of facts to alarm you about the plastic menace, and we are looking for great participation from environmentalists, AI experts, and everyone else. There are cash prizes thanks to our sponsors, Kyndryl team, for generously offering great cash prizes and exciting swags to all our winners. And when you come down, you have this phase 1, 2, 3 being explained. There are more details on this, and we would request you to, and the judges' details are also put. Please note, there are 2 links for participation, one for everyone. The other one is specifically for Kyndryl and REVA members, because since we are the host organizations, we would definitely request you to keep your innovations and efforts to participate, but we would take you all through a different evaluation track. So once you log in here, you would get into this page where everything about this hackathon is very clearly mentioned, which includes the model, the first part of it. You can download the data set here. You have a series of details associated. What are the data sets being given? There are zip folder with set of data sets and how to submit, which format to submit. There is a very detailed README document here and a set of templates that you must use, and the results, on what basis that the results will be computed and what kind of templates have been available. And in the prototype submission, which is the second stage, again, there are a set of regulations or the submission guidelines being here, and then the Open Innovation Challenge. So that is about the hackathon. We would keep all your queries on through a Discord. So there is a Discord system on the website that you can join the Discord and listen to the conversations from other participants, your peers, your mentors and guides. And we look forward to hearing a lot of comments and a lot of challenges that you may face during this hackathon, but we are here to solve or help and support whichever way we may need. And as we mentioned, great prizes, The first prize is going to be 1,50,000. It's a team of 4 maximum, but individuals also are free to participate. We have the second prize is 1 lakh and third prize is 50,000 rupees. And if you are joining from abroad, we would have your winning prize in US dollars. And branded swags from both of us, from Kyndryl and REVA, would be given to you. And that's about the hackathon. And we hope that that all of you would share this hackathon details among your data science teams, AI specialists, universities, organizations, and try participating and try winning. And we hope with this that our small bit towards plastic menace and also taking an oath that we will reduce plastic less in our life or not at all. So with that, may I request all of you to look at the website, register for the hackathon, and also keep learning, keep innovating, keep being more aware about what is that we contribute to our planet. With that, let me thank each of you for joining the hackathon today and all our mentors and a big team of Kyndryl who has worked with us throughout. I think so. Let me take Naveen's name again. Has been a pillar of support from the day one that we met until today, and looking forward to your support. A long list of supporters and mentors from Kyndryl. Dan is here. Absolutely amazing. Almost every step by step that he has been with us. We have Padmini, we have Meenakshi, we have Karuna KK, we have Dr. Raj, and many leaders from Kyndryl. And a new addition to our friends circle, Harish Shenoy, and the whole Plastic Fischer team. We are truly obliged the kind of great work that you are doing. And I cannot miss our team. I think our team, RACE team and REVA University team. RACE team, I think all of you are here. Thank you so much. I think they tirelessly work with whatever has been kind of given, and very passionate and inspiring and excellent team that we have. So with that, I think I'm on time, and thank you so much for joining. Looking forward to your amazing and innovative solutions to our hackathon. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you.